So, my dear students, we are going with our new lesson, advertising and public relation. So, advertising as a first promotion mix element, and then we'll move to public relation. So, the focus of today's lecture, objectives, it is to find out, to understand what is advertising, how to set advertising objectives, how to set advertising budget, and then how to develop advertising strategy, meaning how to execute advertising, and then to look at, to find out how effective is advertising and whether advertising returns investments. Does advertising increases sales, or does advertising increases communication with the target market? And then we'll move to the other promotion mix, which is public relation. So we'll try to find out what is meant by public relation, what is its role and impact in general public. So what is meant by advertising? So as you can see, advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation. We say non-personal because advertising is addressed to all segments, all consumers in one segment, with the idea of promoting ideas, goods, services by an identified sponsor. So we know who advertises that idea, which is linked with promoting ideas, goods, and services. So, advertising objective is a specific communication task with the aim to accomplish its objective within the target audience during a specific time. So the objective of advertising is to inform, persuade, or remind consumers. While informing consumers, the idea is how to build or create primary demand through introducing new product category. So companies use informative advertising to increase awareness of their product in the market. And then we have persuasive advertising with the idea to increase when there is competition in the market. Beside us in the market, that there are other companies offering the same product, the same service, and we use or we design persuasive advertising in order to build selective demand. So in order to try to make potential consumers to get to buy our products. And then another role of advertising is to remind consumers. And this is done usually with products that are in their mature product life cycle. So the idea is how to build or maintain or keep such customer relationship and make consumers think about the product. Here, for example, we have the case of Coca-Cola. So the question arises here, does Coca-Cola need to promote products? Yes, of course. So Coca-Cola's objective while advertising their product is to remind consumers that they are in the market. So the idea is to make them think about the product and try to build such customer relationships. While designing advertising, it is very important to look at the budget, about the cost, how much money to use, how much money to spend with advertising. And there are some factors that companies usually take in consideration while trying to set up the advertising budget. For example, they link the advertising budget with the product life cycle of the product. So as you know, products go through their life cycle from the concept, introduction in the market, developing stage, maturity stage, and finally declining stage. So each stage demands or requires different amount of budget, but also it is linked also with the market share or market presence. For example, if the company want to increase its presence in a market, and that might lead eventually to more raising budget costs. So it links with product life cycle and market share. So within product life cycle, since the products, if the products are in their beginning phase, in their introduction phase, or new products, then they require larger budget because the market doesn't know about the product. So the company uses advertising to inform or to increase awareness and try to create a solid clientele base for the product. And when the product is in its mature stage, uh, then since the product is known in the market, so has reached its maturity, then the company doesn't need to spend a lot of money. And then market share, if the company wants to increase its market presence, and then might need more budget because increasing uh, market share requires more advertising. So companies need to carry on with more advertising. Also, if the company competes or company's products offering compete into a market with heavy competition, and heavy competition means that other companies they are advertising their products, and the company needs to break into through that clutter. So a clutter means all other advertisements by other companies. Since there are many companies, they are advertising many products. So we as a company, we need to find out how to break into clutter because consumers receive or are bombarded with too many advertising. And then if we are competing in a market with a brand, with products that are undifferentiated, so the products are pretty much the similar. They have almost the same characteristics. They uh, they satisfy almost the same need, etc. So in such cases, such occasions, companies need to do more advertising in order try to differentiate its products offering or its marketing offering from competitors offering. Then how to develop an advertising strategy. So from the word strategy means how to deliver uh, such advertising. And delivering the advertising, it should be focused on two things. For example, it should focus on how to create advertising messages, how, and then to select the media, advertising media or the channel. So different media, different channel has different impact. It has different reach, etc. And then, as we mentioned, companies face a very competitive market. There are many companies, and every company tries to do its best, try to advertise its product, its marketing offering. So the company or company's ad needs to be well designed, well created in order to break through the space or the clutter of many ads. So a creative advertising message should be uh, creative in order to gain attention. It should be communicated well. So the idea behind that advertising message should be delivered well. So advertising needs to be better planned, more imaginative. They should be more entertaining. So we have seen many ads which are entertaining. They should be rewarding. What do we mean by rewarding? Rewarding means the ad or the advertisement should reveal the benefits to clients, to consumers. So what are the benefits for the client or consumer? And then while creating the advertising message, we should look at message strategy, and we should try to find a concept, a theme, which should be appealing or creative, and then to realize how to execute the message. So a message strategy is a general message that needs to be communicated to consumers. As we mentioned previously, it needs to stress, emphasize the benefits that consumers will get while buying the product or service from our company. So, while in designing a creative concept, the company should come with a nice or a specific appeal that will be used during its advertising campaign. So a good appeal or theme, should it be meaningful? So it should reveal, it should convey meaning to the audience. It should be believable. For example, not promising too much as an ad, telling your clients that our product does this and that, and in reality, it doesn't fulfill all its promises. So it should be believable. And in order to be seen, it should be distinctive. It should come with something which is different, that make our advertising unique and special comparing to competitors' ads. And then how to execute the message. So the idea is how to turn the big idea into actual execution. So companies or those in charge with advertising, they try to use the best approach. They pay attention to style, tone, words, and the format of executing the message. So companies use while executing their messages, they use different styles. For example, you may have seen a lot of advertising which deal with someone's slice of life, so part of life. So they tell you how they use the product, then how to link the product with lifestyle, fantasy, mood or image. Then there are companies that use music. For example, Coca-Cola uses jingle bells a lot. And then they might add symbols to the product. For example, people's characteristics to the product. Then you might see advertising with someone which has technical expertise, then advertising that provides some facts which are scientific evidence, and then you might see testimonials or people that have used the products, have had experiences. with the products, so they reveal their experiences. And then companies, while executing their advertising, they might use endorsement. So endorsement means famous people trying to advertise your products. For example, sportswear clothing companies use famous sporties to promote their product. So let's see examples of such execution styles. For example, Life of Lies. Here you have an ad where showing how the product is a typical part of someone's life. For example, you have a Silk Soy Milk Rise and Shine, showing a consumer, showing a girl how they consume the product and how they start the day with the product. On the other side, you have Colgate promoting its product with someone's part of life. And then we have ads where companies try to link the ad with someone's lifestyle. And with this ad, companies try to show how the product fits in someone's lifestyle. For example, here you have Athleta activewear, where shows how women, for example, practice yoga and how and generally how this style fits to someone else's lifestyle. And then you might have witnessed companies using or creating uh, a fantasy around the product or its use. Here you have an ad of Travelers Insurance Company, and they, as you may know, they use umbrella as the brand symbols. And you can see, so they use umbrella in an environment using a fantasy and how umbrella protects you from everything and how umbrella would protect you from any inconveniences during your travel, etc. So companies, while executing their ad, they might use the so-called fantasy. So creating a fantasy around the product or its use. Then you might have seen ads where a company tries to use mood or images. Uh, so with this type, the company tries to build mood around the image or image around the product or service. Here, for example, you have Nestle on the right side, Nestle company, uh, a parent with a child showing the closeness, happiness, and McDonald's, for example, while promoting their Happy Meals, they 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 promote a mother hugging their his son, etc. So this form is called using mood or image. Then, as we mentioned, companies during their ads, they try to use music. Here, for example, you have Coca-Cola uses a lot music to promote its product, but also on the right side you have free credit report. So they use commercials. Here you have Dream Girl. So they try to think about the product, and then companies in their ads they might use personality symbols. So this style creates a character that represents the product. So you have with uh, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, they use as a personal character, they use the Tony the Tiger, and then you have uh, companies that offer cleaning products. For example, a company used Mr. Clean. And then companies, they might use technical expertise while promoting their product. Uh, for example, the natural foods maker Kashi shows, since it's a natural producer of foods, it shows how they produce the products and how they select ingredients for its products. So this is called technical expertise. And then companies might use in their ads, or they might provide some scientific evidence. Usually they link it with any kind of research or survey they have done. For example, here you have Crest Company, so it comes with some scientific evidence about telling people that use Crest as a toothpaste and what is the results with their cavities, etc. And here also, as you can see on the second Crest ad, it provides some scientific evidence. It provides about whitening in just 2 hours. And finally, in ads execution, uh, companies might use testimonial evidence or uh, famous people to promote their product. By testimonials, we mean people that have had consumed or used the product and now they want to reveal through their testimonials their experiences with the product. And then companies might use endorsement, as I said, famous people to promote their product. Here you have Michael Phelps promoting Subway sandwiches. So the idea behind these Subway sandwiches, so it provides healthy food with a lot of energy, etc. So while creating the advertising message, the message execution, beside the type of execution, so we have seen so far, uh, the company should focus also on the tone. So what is meant by the tone? It means how should it start promoting it? Should it start with positive uh, benefits first, or then with negative benefits first, etc. And then it's very important to use the eye-catching words, so words that will catch attention to the prospects. And also, it's very important the format. So illustration, the picture of the product itself, headlines also very important, and also the copy and quality of the ad. Let's illustrate this. For example, as you can see, Nike. So it uses headline, an interesting headline, uh, illustration, a good illustration, and then a copy. Then, after creating and after deciding about strategy, about the way how to execute the advertising, companies should select the media. So the media means how to, with what channel to reveal that ad. And there are some steps, as you can see. While selecting the media, companies look which media, for example, has more reach, frequency, impact, etc. So based on how much they want to reach, for example, then they might select media vehicles. For example, they might if they select TV, for example, if they want to cover more markets, then they might use some international uh, TV, or they might use national TV, local TV, etc. And very important to decide when to present their advertising. So deciding on media timing. So reach by reach, it is a measure of percentage of people in the target market that are exposed to that ad, and frequency is a measure of how many times the average person in the target market is exposed. So, so is it twice a day, 3 times a day, etc. So frequency is linked with memory. So the more we see an ad, the more memorable that ad is. And based on some research, the ideal frequency of an ad is 2 to 3 times per day. And then usually we should look at the impact, which deals with the qualitative value of message exposure through a given media. So while selecting media, usually look at media's impact, how effective is the media, and of course, the cost. So we might want to present in national TV, but it is more costly than presenting to a local TV. Or if we want to, if we work on many markets, many international markets, then we have to select an international media. And international media is more costly. Uh, Companies, for example, with the new technologies nowadays, they can use the so-called narrowcasting. Narrowcasting means trying to promote uh, to a selected target. So with, as the word narrow implies, so they want to narrow and use some personalized advertising to special groups, etc. And this helps the companies, for example, to lower costs because because they have a smaller reach, and since it deals only with the special segments of a market, its effectiveness it's highly because it can target only those clients' customers, and then this might lead to more customer engagement. So customers might engage more in considering the product and finally doing a trial. And then when also selecting advertising media, it's also important to find out about timing. For example, it's very much linked with seasonality. So there are products that are linked with seasons. For example, uh, if you want to promote air conditioning for cooling, we usually do it on warm or in summer times or before summer, etc. And then pattern of advertising, how should we use advertising? Should we go on with in a continual basis, uh, scheduled within a given period, for example, or pulsing, scheduling unevenly with a given period? So pulsing, sometime presenting, then some days resting, and then starting again presenting, etc. And then usually, since advertising has costs, we as a company, we are interested to find out whether advertising activities or efforts have any results. So we look at two things. First, we look at communication effects. First, if advertising has reached uh, a large number of potential clients to inform, or we look at sales. So we base sales previous years with this year's sales, and we see whether advertising has impacted the rise or the increase on sales. So we look at the communication effect, but also we look at the outcome effect, which is whether advertising has increased sales and profits. So we have done with advertising, and now we go to the second promotion tool, which is public relation, or the so-called PR. So companies within themselves, they have a special department called public relation. And public relation uses many tools in order to promote, firstly, the company's image, and then the company's brands or products. And public relation laws uses many tools such as press relations, press agency. So they try to create information, and they do it through press release, with the idea to attract attention to uh, persons, products, or services. Then they might use product publicity, which sometimes companies want to promote or publicize special or specific products. Then they use public relation for building and maintaining relationships with local communities, national communities, etc. Then public relation might be used for lobbying. So, for example, they might lobby certain legislators or government officials to influence for any new legislation, any regulation that might favor the company or might ease the company's activities, etc. But also, rules that work on public relations should pay attention on building a relationship with investors. So in cases when the company needs to get bigger and large or come with a new project, it can be, let's say, a product project, etc. It needs to get financial support from other publics, which are called investor publics. It can be banks, uh, other institutions that offer loans, etc. So the idea of public relation is also to build or maintain relation with the financial community. And then development, it needs to develop also public relation with any donors, members of non-profit organization, in order to gain financial or any other support. And then what is the role and impact of public relation? So comparing to advertising, companies with public relations, they incur less costs, because in many cases, medias are interested just to get info in order to cover their programs, etc. For example, and public relations just offer them some written releases, press releases. They get it, and so they cover their programs, etc. And also, it might have stronger impact on public awareness than advertising, because advertising, as we said, it is a paid, something which is paid, and the idea behind advertising is direct impact on consumers to buy products or services from the company. And also, public relation uses some tools. So they release news about the company, about its products, Then they might organize speeches from PR department. So they deliver speeches about the company, images. For example, sometimes it might happen that in the public there are some rumors about the company, about the product, about malfunctioning of product, etc. And then that is the duty of public relation office to deliver speeches and to clarify the situation for eventual any uh, defect products, etc. They might help to organize special events. They provide written materials. They might record uh, audiovisual materials about the company's image, products. Then, in order to increase corporate identity, they also offer materials related with uh, companies, organization, history, etc. They might help provide some public service activities. They also try to engage on buzz marketing. So what is meant by buzz marketing? So they try to identify opinion leaders, and opinion leaders are people that play the role of influencers in a given community, in a given society. Since they are opinion leaders, they serve as reference groups to other clients, customers, because they have skills how to promote, how to spread word of mouth, etc. Then PR might use social networking, like social media, to promote the company, products, etc. Then public relations uh, tries to use mobile application in order to send information to clients, customers, etc. For example, nowadays many supermarkets they send you uh, uh, information through mobile application, etc. And finally, public relation uses internet through its web pages to promote companies' images, companies' products, etc. So, thank you. These were the main ideas behind advertising and public uh, relation.